Today's broadcast was brought to you in part by the sold-out Baltimore Music Awards. Let your voice be heard at the 2017 BMAs. Polls are now open for this 7th annual Red Carpet event honoring Baltimore. Log on to BaltimoreMusicAwards.com before December 3rd to cast your votes in all categories. December 3rd is the deadline for voting. The actual ceremony is December the 5th. BaltimoreMusicAwards.com. You ready to get started?
Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. I want to welcome everybody to Radio on Fire. I want to thank Diamond K, his whole staff, everyone for allowing me this opportunity. I talked to the brother some years ago about doing this, and I wanted to wait till the time was right, until my mind was clear and come up with the great name that I could come up with. The name of my Friday night show is called Heart to Heart Unplugged. And the reason why it's called Heart to Heart Unplugged, because nothing that we do on this show within that 6 o'clock to 7 o'clock hour will be scripted. It's just exactly what it says. It's questions from heart to heart. It gives these brothers and sisters a chance to express their self without it being scripted, maybe a chance to get things off of them that they never had a chance to get off of them. So it's called Heart to Heart. My first guest today will be D. Thompson. Also have brother Trey Rose will be calling in. The topic of this week's show is that we always been considered that we was a project of our environment, that the environment that we come from that led us to be some of the people that we were. So today I have a wonderful and great young man that is successful in life that was in that same environment that a lot of us was in, but he didn't walk the route that a lot of us walk. So it's going to be a very entertaining show. He don't know none of the questions that's going to be asked. The call-in guy won't know any of the questions that will be asked. So because he's out of town, we're going to get to him first, Diamond, if that's cool. And we're going to call you, Trey, if you're listening in. We're going to call you. And the reason why we're calling you today, which of course you didn't know, because it's heart to heart and it's unscripted. Today is the 1-year anniversary of the death of your best friend, Devin Colson. So, I talk to you a lot. I try to mentor you, and I try to talk to all you guys as a big brother figure, as someone that made it out the hood alive and changed his life. So we want to talk to you today because I know today is a sentimental day for you, being the anniversary, of the death of Dev. So, Trey, if you're listening, you can call into the call-in line right now. We're going to ask you some questions, see how you feeling today and just seeing how your day going, because guess what? It's heart to heart, baby.
All right, so what? You want to wait for him to call?
Yeah, he should be calling back. He texted now and said he got no answer. That probably was him. If you're still listening, you can call back right now, Trey.
So the number is 404-436-1277. So while you're waiting for him to call in, what inspired you to do this show?
Well, I put it on my heart about 4 or 5 years ago. And I was procrastinating because, just thinking that I could prolong something that needs to be done. And it's no disrespect to a lot of other shows, but a lot of shows that catch the entertainment of not only our children, myself, ourselves, it's fully scripted. It's Hollywood, it's somewhat fake reality. And I wanted to be able to touch the people down in the heart of their souls, to give them a platform that they could fully open up and say how they really feel, what's on the inside. And we're talking about their heart of their mind.
Okay. So if you want me to call him, I can.
Sure.
You probably don't want to say his number out, but
right.
Just write it down.
Anyone that's tuning in, you would like to be a guest on the show, is unscripted. We're not doing anything to glorify any past lives of anything like that. This show is strictly for you to express what's on the heart of your mind and, to be able to get that stuff up off you, because a lot of young brothers are going through a lot of things in their life and they're not given a platform to truly demonstrate and to talk about what's going on in their life. As I wait for Trey to call in briefly, let's give you a brief understanding of myself. I'm Eric Thompson Bay. Used to be known as Black Eric from North Longwood, part investing club Indigo back in the day, started up and knowing Diamond. It has to be 25, 30 years from now. And I just want to say, man, I'm proud of you, what you're doing with all the music awards and giving brothers a platform. So I was once one of those brothers that didn't have no one to come up with the idea of a heart-to-heart. Someone that I could talk to, someone that I felt that came from where I came from, a big brother figure for me to be able to open up. So, you know, I'm just want to open up that platform because it's well needed. It's well needed for these guys. On my show, I guarantee you're going to see some men that you think the toughest of the toughest that's going to shed some tears as we move forward on these shows.
All right, he didn't answer.
Yeah, so we're going to wait for Trey. And I finished talking about myself. You know, I grew up in the North and Longwood area, you know, poverty just like anybody else. And I learned one thing about my life. I made a lot of excuses about my life. I was one of those young brothers that said I was forced into this situation and I had to be in this situation. You know, one thing about your life is your testimony. So anything that you go through in your life, I was always taught that you should be able to talk about it. So I'm comfortable with talking about my life. So growing up by the age of 13, I'm going to give you all a brief of what changed my life. From age 12 and under, I was a good boy, schoolboy, did everything right, you know, went to school, no problems. So at the age of 13, one day I left school. We got out of school early. So when I got out of school early, you know, my children is listening. So some of them is listening for the first time. And that's why it's called Heart to Heart. So if my children, if y'all hearing this stuff for the first time, that's why I didn't want to tell y'all, because it's heart to heart. So at 13, you know, I came home one day and I walked in. And when I walked in, I witnessed another man inserting a needle into my mother's arms. So, you know, as a 13-year-old, your mother is your first God. That's the only person that you look up to as being your world. So I'm just sitting there stunned. They don't see me. You know, she passed for them. She still don't know to this day. This is the first time that I expressed it. I wanted to wait to express it on my own show. So what I did when I seen that, I just walked out the room. I was crying. I was so upset. And from that moment forth, I don't know why, but my thoughts was that what I seen my mother go through, I wanted to sell everybody mother in the world the same drug that my mother had. And that was the start of my demise. I know that wasn't good thinking, but, you know, I was traumatized at that time. And the only thing that I was thinking at the age of 13 is I want to find out exactly what she's doing and what type of drug use is this going. And I promised myself that I was going to make sure that I sold drugs to as many mothers, fathers, etc. and people in the world. And that was really the beginning of my demise, of my change, of my mental state. I was going through some mental things that I didn't know until I met the Holy Prophet Noble Drew Ali and the Moorish Science Temple of America. And they taught me that I was going through some mental things at that time. And at the age of 13, you know, I just was angry. And, you know, I just wanted to hurt the world. And that was the beginning of my demise. And, you know, we'll go into a little bit more about myself. Is Al Call on the line? Trey, how you doing, young brother?
I'm good. How you?
Can you hear me good?
Yes, sir. I can hear you.
All right. Well, you know, it's an honor to have you on my first show. You as well as D. Thompson. You know, the show is called Heart to Heart. It's unscripted. Me and you have not talked about what we're going to talk about today. I know today is a tough day for you because today is the anniversary of your best friend, Devin Colston. So you all right to be able to talk about things today? Are you in a good place? Are you good to have this interview right now?
You was breaking.
Sorry
about that. You was breaking. I had to get better reception. What you say?
Are you in a good space to have this interview? Because I noticed the anniversary of the death of one of your best friends, Devin Colston. So are you fine with doing the interview and talking about some things? If so, just, you know, let it be known.
Oh yeah. Everything cool. I can do it.
All right. Well, we online live at Radio on Fire with Diamond K and his staff. Briefly, before I get to the questions and everything of Heart to Heart, can you briefly introduce yourself? Tell the people who you are, a little about yourself, where you come from, etc. Please.
Yes. My name Trey Rose. I go by Trey. I'm from West Baltimore, and I'm currently living in Atlanta, Georgia, playing in the UBA Semi-Pro Basketball League. Looking to take my talents overseas in February. So I'm just, you know, just trying to stay out the way, man. Do some positive things.
That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, man. This is young brother Trey, man, that I love dearly. And, you know, I did the best of my capabilities to, you know, try to guide these young brothers in the right way, to keep them out the streets, because they looked to us when we was doing things that we know we wasn't supposed to do. But, you know, sometimes when that's all they see, and they see the glamour, they see the glitz, and they don't see the other side of that game, they think it's a game to get into. And the most interesting thing about the brother Trey is his mother. And I love his mother so much because right before Dev was murdered, his mother reached out and gave me a call. And she contacted me through Messenger. And she said, you know, Mr. Bey, you know, I admire the change in your life. I know that you really care about my son. And she asked me to do whatever I had to do to look out for her son. And that was an honor to me. And I give your mother honor, man. And you make sure you let her know, because for so many years in my life, it was so many parents that didn't want any children around me. And as you came into adulthood and becoming the young man that you were, it really touched me. And, you know, it made me feel so grateful that your mother called me last year and asked me, she said, please, you know, Mr. Thompson Bey, when Trey come back to Baltimore, can you, you know, watch out for my son, man? And I want you to please tell your mother that I will always do that for her, and I honor her for doing that.
Oh, yeah. No question.
So we're going to get right,
you know, always.
We're going to get right into it, Trey. It's called Heart to Heart. Some of these questions are going to be tough questions, man. Some questions I'm not going to ask you anything to ever incriminate you. You know I would never do that. This just going to be some tough, honest questions, man. That's heart to heart, some things that probably never been asked to you, never before. So the first thing I want to talk to you about, man, is that, you know, and it's just to get your advice. You know, when a tragedy happened to Dev, man, it seemed like it was a wake-up call, not only for you, but for all the young brothers in the North Longwood area, man. I was there to witness the tears, the highs, the lows, and everyone saying that they wanted to change their life, that they wanted to dedicate their life to Dev. And my question to you today, to some of your peers, and we're not going to name any names because we're not incriminating or putting anybody down on the Heart to Heart Unplugged radio show. But my question to you, you followed your dream. You left, you went overseas, you went to New Orleans, you went to Atlanta. You did everything possible to try to change your life. So my question to you, to the rest of the guys, what made them still want to stay stuck in the situation that they was in? What made them want to go back to the same lifestyle that might attribute it or contribute to Devin being murdered? And you may answer those questions, please.
Man, the biggest thing that'll be that people go back is the surroundings, what's going on. Like, you know, the flashy cars, flashy jewelry, you know what I'm saying? New Jordans, trending, you know, whatever trending. So people want to, you know, be in the streets so they can make money to get the things that they think is cool. And, you know, like, when it happened, when what happened to Dad happened, Dad, that opened up my eyes a whole lot to really just realize, even though I was already on a urge of trying to change my life around, but that really helped me, because it's like going back to what, you know, like when I travel and I go to different places, I meet different people, and their situation, their life situation opened up my eyes a lot. It's just different things, man. And like, I always come back and step home, but at the end of the day, like, there's nothing there for me, so I just tried my best to stay away.
And that's what I wanted to hear, man. And the most important thing that you said out of there, Trey, man, I give you amends for, my young brother, is that you said people think that they have to come back to those old ways. And that's what my partner Diamond K asked me. Why did I want to start this show, and why was I ready now? And Diamond, that's the answer right there. Because we got to change these young brothers' thinking. If we can change their thinking, then we can control their actions. As long as that we're not controlling their thinking and we're letting everybody else do the thinking for them, the TVs, the so-called OGs, and everyone else, as long as they're controlling y'all thinking, y'all don't have a chance at all, because we know what? Thought is the cause of it all. And if we can start controlling the thoughts of y'all mind and let y'all know that it is hope out there. And I want you to know, man, that you are that hope, Trey, man. You are that hope for those younger brothers that looked up to you by doing this interview. You are that hope. So keep coming back and showing them that it is a better way, that it is another side that you walked away from the old ways and that you are no longer thinking the negative ways that you used to think, man. And I would like you to call
Right. Always, man. I will always do that. Like, I got a lot of little brothers, man, that play ball, you know, couple football, couple basketball, and I keep in touch with them, man. They doing good right now. A couple of them in JUCO college, getting ready to go to university. And I'm doing everything in my power with the help with my mom to get them young brothers into school, you know, and I'm reaching out to different previous coaches I had and just people that I know to help the young brothers out and just to show them that it's a different way, man. They go to school and had the same type of hustle that they got in the streets, but just, you know, put it into positive shit. There's a lot of legal money out here that we don't know about because we was never, you know, opened up to that side. We only just thought, selling drugs, yeah, you can make quick money. Well, yeah, man, there's a whole bunch of ways out here to make legal money, man. I'm trying to invest my money right now into real estate. That's what I'm doing with my money. The same way I used to do my thing in the streets flipping, yeah, I'm going to flip these houses. It's the same hustle. So, yeah, anything that I learn, I'm going to always come back and share it with my young brothers.
Well, man, praise Allah, man. That's what it's all about, man. So for everybody that wanted to know and wonder why I would not tell people about my show that I was starting with Radio on Fire, it's called Heart to Heart, man. Anybody that I interview, only thing you're gonna know about is your topic. I'm not gonna ask you the questions because, man, I want you to be able to open up. We want to be able to change some lives. We want to be able to use this platform that Diamond K and his stash open up for my company, A Step Above the Rest, to bring Heart to Heart Unplugged to a major level. Because, see, a lot of times we fail in life because we don't believe in ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves. And I'm so glad that you believe in yourself, Trey. And I personally, man, want to apologize to you from the bottom of my heart. And the reason why I'm apologizing, man, because I know, and you don't have to say, man, you had private conversations. I know you watched my walk. I know you watched the things that I did, man. And sometimes y'all glorified it, man. I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart that I apologize that if I strayed you in any direction and gave you a false hope to that nasty drug trade or any type of hustling, man, just in front of the whole world, the viewers, as everybody tuned in, man. I just want to tell you, man, that I apologize to you from the bottom of my heart for any misguiding that we have gave you when you was looking for guidance, brother.
Apology accepted, man. Apology accepted, big bro. You already know how I love it, man. At the end of the day, you doing what you're supposed to do now. You showing us, you feel me, a different way out now, man. And I appreciate you for that.
Man, I appreciate you, man. So, man, continue to listen in, man, and encourage, man. You know, reach out to Twan and Lord Dev and Roddy and them, man. They having a tough day. They got the candlelight visual, man. If they listening, man,
okay,
encourage yourself, man, to make a change, man. And when I say make that change, you know, death seems like it's immune to our community. You know, when we hear that someone has been murdered, it's just like another day to us. And, man, you know, that's just troubling to me. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have this TV and radio show called Heart to Heart. Because, man, we got to tap into what's going on with these brothers. We can try to blame the Europeans. We can try to blame the system all the days of our life. But why do we think that we can reach out to a community that put us in those situations to get us out of it? It got to be platforms like this with Radio on Fire, Heart to Heart Radio to the masses to change the way you young brothers is thinking, man. I just want to tell you, man, I'm proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing. Follow your dreams, man. Tell your mother that I love her. And, man, when you get back in town, man, if it's on a Friday, we'll bring you in live, man, you know. And I'm looking forward to working with you, man. I just want to tell you I love you, man, and keep pushing, man. Keep working.
Okay, man. I love you too, big bro, man. I wish you nothing but the best of luck, TV and radio shoot.
All right, thank you. Man, once again, man, that was my young brother, man, Trey Rose, man. It's a young brother, man, that I strayed in the wrong way. And this goes out, man, to, I'm not glorifying everybody. This goes out to all the brothers that so-called call themselves OGs. I stopped telling the young guys in my neighborhood, stop calling me an OG, because I don't like the title of OG. Because when I had the title of OG, I was guiding all you brothers in the wrong direction. You know, give me the title of who I am today, and that's Sheik Eric Thompson Bey of the Moore Scientific of America. If y'all notice on none of my pages, you never hear anybody, you know, call me my old names, street names, Black Eric, North and Long, Easy, none of that, because words carry spirits. And I'm a believer of that. If you hold on to your past and the things that you used to do, eventually when times get tough, you're going to revert to your old behavior. So I'm just asking to all the older brothers that's in the neighborhood, man, what happened to the unity? You know, where we grew up, Diamond, man, we wouldn't allow the young brothers to touch drugs at age of 12 and 13 years old. We wouldn't allow them not to go to school. I still do that to this day. You know, people say, well, man, why do you still, you know, go around your neighborhood? How can I not go back around the North Longwood neighborhood? How can I not show them hope? Sometimes people got to be able to see a God that they can believe in. When I say a God that you can believe, I'm not talking about I'm the Almighty God. We talking about someone that they can see that made it through the struggle, you know, that went through the bumps and bruises and went through all the things that they made it through and made it out alive, and to be able to what? Show them hope. Because all these young brothers have right now is hope. So I encourage all these brothers, man, that's in these neighborhoods, that's encouraging the gang banging, the shooting, etc., that think that's the right thing to do, man. Take time and realize, man, the effect of the families that's going to be destroyed. And what I mean by the families that's going to be destroyed, you're going to have the one family that's destroyed because one of their loved ones has been murdered. So by one being murdered, they're leaving their children behind, their mothers behind, their brothers behind, their cousins, etc., and all their families. So that one family is destroyed. Now you have that second family that's destroyed because now you have a convicted murderer that's going to get life in prison. So now he's never going to see his family outside the walls. He's never going to be able to raise his children. He's never going to be able to hug his mother outside or behind a glass window. So now we done had two families destroyed all at one time, man. All at one time, when all it takes is for you to just stop and think and exhale and realize the repercussions of what it might cause or what it might do to take a life of another. And one of my most greatest movies I love, Diamond, is the movie South Central. I made all my children look at South Central, and they tell you, man, and they didn't understand it, but South Central was one of my greatest movies, and every child I mentor, I make them look at South Central. And the reason why I make them look at South Central, because OG Bobby Johnson committed murders. He did everything etc. under the sun. But the most important person to him was his son. And he did whatever he had to do to get back out there to his son, whether it was study, getting rid of all the old gang stuff. He took the thing off his eye that connected him to being one of the guys that committed murder. And the most powerful thing that he told his son was in that movie. And that's the part when his son wanted to take the man's life for shooting him. And he told him, he said, son, if you take this man's life, you will never get the opportunity ever again to apologize to him. But if you let him go free right now, you'll get that opportunity to do what? Apologize to him, man. That's what it's all about, man. We got to stop being puffed up in our own deceit, man, and thinking it make us less of a man to overlook and turn the other cheek. I'm just thankful to Allah that I'm alive, Diamond K, man. You know, man, you go back, man. I gave you my word when I was ready. I would bring this show here. I believe that this show, Heart to Heart Unplugged, is going to open up the doors for all of us, man. We're going to take this to a national level because guess what? It's nothing new under the sun. The same thing that's going on in Baltimore is going on in Detroit. It's going on in Chicago. It's going on in Miami. It's going on everywhere. But until we unify as one and we learn how to change the thinking of these young brothers, man, we in a state of emergency here in Baltimore, man. So I'm going to get into my second guest. We're going to take a brief intermission. And my guy, 5151 Reese, is on the way. I got to give him a shout out. This guy's responsible for the hook and the music for this intro and outro, man. It's amazing. And I sent the call out. I DM'd and sent the messages. I said, anybody want to make a song for my new show? And this brother stayed up all night until he did it. We have never met face to face other than social media. And I told the brother to come in. He texted me and say on his way, I just want to tell you, 5151 Reese, man, I am truly indebted to you for this song, man. Not only did you make the song, you made an incredible song, man. It takes a lot to have Diamond bouncing his head because this is the music man out of Baltimore. And when we played the intro, I'm over there watching, and Diamond was like, yeah, him as well as Nikki, am I correct? As well as staff, they really digging the song, man. So as soon as you get here, man, we'll welcome you in. Callers, please call in. You have any questions? Anybody's interested in coming on the next few shows, we're getting them lined up. And I'm telling you, man, it's heart to heart. It's going to take off, man. And we're going to go to a brief 1-minute intermission, man. Stay tuned.